This week on Great British Menu, 3 of the most exciting chefs on the London and South East restaurant scene.
Slightly nervous of you with that saw. Yeah, me too.
Returning contender Mark Freudenlund, head chef at Marcus Waring's 2-star restaurant.
Second time round, the pressure's just as much as it was last year.
Russell Bateman, classically trained and chasing a Michelin star.
A bit worried it's a cooking competition. I seem to be the only one doing any cooking at the moment.
And Ronnie Murray, who combines a straightforward approach with bold flavours.
My tactic's really simple. I'm going to roast these curry spices till your eyes water so badly you can't really see what you're doing.
In the year of the Queen's 90th birthday, the chefs will be celebrating the everyday Great Britain's honoured throughout her reign, and competing for the chance to cook for them at an historic banquet at the Palace of Westminster. Russell Bateman took the lead in the starter course, impressing Richard with his seafood broth.
A lot of fish in there, you sure you got the right course?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But Mark is just 1 point behind.
Beautifully presented and a well-crafted dish.
Ronnie is trailing in 3rd place.
It was a bit too simple.
In today's fish course, Russell's desperate to stay on top.
So how many elements have you got, Russell?
Only 9, mate.
Just taking it easy today, yeah?
And for returning chef Mark, failure is not an option,
Oh, you're joking.
as the chefs push to plate up the winning dish.
Does he need a life raft with this dish?
The chefs have been challenged to create dishes that are a fitting legacy to our new Elizabethan age, and a celebration of the complete transformation of British cuisine during the Queen's historic reign. Judging these dishes for contemporary execution and refined flavours is veteran Richard Corrigan. 3 times a banquet champion, he's seeking excellence.
I like my fish simple, I like it pure, with a very nice garnish. I don't like my fish mucked around.
Richard loves his fish, got a great fish restaurant, so his expectancy of the fish is going to be really high.
I feel a bit better this year, Mark.
Well, the points are going up, so that's good.
Obviously, a lot more fun this year with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better looking.
Pointed at me then, not you.
First up is Russell Bateman, who won praise from veteran judge Richard with his elegant yet simple starter. He's planning to hold on to his lead with his fish course.
Mark's not far behind me, obviously. He's got a 7. Ronnie got a 6. I'll have to be keeping an eye on him. If I get my head down and I push on, I believe I can deliver the dish. Hello, chef.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, very good. I'm very buoyed by the scores on the starter.
Russell, the name of your dish.
Well, this dish is called Commonwealth Carnival Queen. So this dish is inspired by my visits to the Notting Hill Carnival.
So bringing the Caribbean to the Great British Menu.
Yeah, so Queen Elizabeth II is the head of the Commonwealth, absolutely embracing other cultures. Basically, I want to represent that in a dish and show how those cultures and those flavours have affected us and everything we cook, and this is my way to do that.
So, pineapple, coconut, lobster, Jerusalem artichokes, limes, spices. A lot going on here.
Yeah, so this is my Cornish lobster. I'm going to do 3 things with this. I'm going to roast the tail in jerk spices. With the shells, I'm going to make a lobster soup. And then with the claws, I'm going to make a dumpling, a lovely lobster dumpling just to go in the soup. Then you're going to be followed by the lobster tail with the Jerusalem artichokes. I'm going to cook these with coconut milk and make a puree. And I'm going to do a little charred pineapple as well.
It's a winner?
I feel very strongly about this dish.
Do you?
Yeah, and I hope you feel the same way as me.
Time will tell. Happy cooking.
Thank you, chef.
Russell's dish, the Commonwealth Carnival Queen. Lobster takes spice really, really well. But an overcooked lobster can be woolly, uninteresting, and can destroy it.
Next, Ronnie Murray. His simple starter failed to win over Richard, so today he's determined to impress.
Going into the fish course at the back of the pack is a worry. I'm going to move maybe a fraction quicker than I did for the starter, and hopefully we'll nail the dish.
Ah, Ronnie, one of my favourites. Oysters.
I know. I'm sure if that's good or bad.
Well, first of all, the name of your dish.
Of Pearls and Gods Colchester rock oysters. So the reason for that, pearls obviously growing oysters. Food of the gods. So what better way to honour our great Britons at the banquet than with the food of the gods, the oyster?
So tell me about this dish.
I'm going to do 3 elements. So you're going to get 3 oysters to the dish. A Bloody Mary granita on a natural oyster for a bit of frozen texture. And then I'm going to do a gin and tonic jelly.
It sounds like a drink cabinet, really, more than a food box.
Yeah, it's a smidgen in every dish.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a crispy fried oyster using this angel hair pastry, just so it's nice and delicate, so the flavour from the oyster can still come through. Yeah, we're going to use some of this spicy sauce done by a famous street food trader. Watch it, it's pretty fiery, though.
Yay!
It's amazing flavour. And obviously we're going to cut that with a mayonnaise, so it's not going to blow your head off.
With all this spice in the oyster, does it mask the natural flavour?
I think, you know, if I get it right, I don't think so.
Russell, brave doing oysters?
Well, after the response I got from my oyster on the starter, my advice would be don't overcook your oyster.
Yeah, thanks.
Ronnie's Colchester rock oysters. Well, too much spirit is not a good thing to have with oysters. Hopefully, Ronnie can pull this off, or else it's going to be a bit of a disaster.
Finally, returning chef Mark Freudenland. Having earned a disappointing 7 for his starter, he needs to wow veteran Richard with an impressive fish course.
I'm back for a second year, putting myself through it again. So I've got to make sure it's worth it. I've got to get through to Friday, and I've really got to up my game to get some higher scores on the board.
Mark,
Hello.
how are you feeling?
Good, really positive actually.
Come on, title your dish. What is it?
So the dish is duty calls. As soon as I found out we were honouring Great Britons this year, I thought there was no one who needs to be honoured more than the RNLI. I started thinking about all of the times that they probably have to stop what they're doing, whether it's eating with their family or at work, and go off and take part in the rescue.
So, a beautiful piece of cod here.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? I don't want to mess around with the fish at all. I'm going to cure it really lightly, bit of lemon, bit of salt to firm the flesh up, and then roast it in lots of butter.
Okay, beautiful.
Making a parsley and pea sauce, and finishing that with the juice from the mussels. And then, of course, fish. I don't want to say chips, but it's something along those lines. Some crispy potatoes, potato mousse. Obviously, if you're having fish and chips, you need tomato sauce.
Oh.
A little bit of chilli, a little bit of ginger, garlic, and vinegar.
So, basically, just a bit of spicy tomato, potato, cooked fish.
Yeah.
Feeling confident?
I am. I just really hope that I do it justice, because I think these people are amazing.
Fish loves simplicity, and I love fish. But this is a banquet dish. He really needs to pull it out of the bag.
With cooking underway, the chefs know they're at a crucial stage in the competition.
So it's all a bit frantic in here today, chaps. Mark, got a lot to do?
Just 3 or 4 elements, but when you break it down, all of them are quite involved. What about you, Ron? Have you got a lot to do?
Yeah, I've got a bit on. I think with the start-up time ran away with me, so I'm very conscious not to let that happen today. You know, it's simple, not necessarily easy. So how many elements have you got, Russell?
Only 9, mate.
9, yeah?
Yeah, I've just gone easy. Slow the pace down a little bit.
Russell is cooking lobster 3 ways: jerked lobster tail, jerked lobster soup, and lobster and coconut dumpling. He's also using some of the knuckle meat from the lobster as a canapé, served with a lobster emulsion.
For me, this dish is all about the cooking of the lobster. I need to get that exactly right. Very sweet meat. Got to go easy on the spice.
Yeah.
Russell is an innovative chef, and this is a complex dish. He has to deliver the strong flavours perfectly on each component.
I've got a lot of elements, 9 elements on my dish. The other guys have got 3 and 4. So I'm up against it.
Ronnie is also out to claw back points by putting his own stamp on a classic British ingredient: oysters.
It's crucial I get a great score for this oyster dish. Otherwise, you know, the boys are going to pull away and that gap's going to get slowly bigger.
Determined to get higher on the leaderboard, Mark's not taking any chances. Even making his own tomato sauce to accompany his contemporary take on a fish supper.
Everyone's realised that, you know, the difference in points is going to mean a lot more for this course, so obviously everyone's keen to improve on their positions. I've just got to pull it all together.
How are you getting on, Mark?
So far, so good.
Sweaty there, under pressure, are you?
It's a bit of a trademark.
So this is your tomato sauce, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, good. You're looking to do a bit better than you did last year?
Oh, of course. I feel the dishes are much more suitable this year.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, lots of good smells from in here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Russell is working on his Notting Hill Carnival-inspired lobster dish, a jerk spiced butter made with chilies, allspice and nutmeg to accompany the tail, and a lobster emulsion.
Get emotional.
Then he moves on to the Jerusalem artichoke and coconut puree.
This is quite a personal one for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I took my son to the carnival for the first time. He's 2.5 years old. He was going around the carnival, dancing away. It's all about the diversity of London as well, which is something I really love.
Russell is visiting another part of London that, like Notting Hill, has pulled together to celebrate its diversity. Tottenham, in the north of the capital. He's meeting a local vicar who was awarded an MBE for services to his community.
Hey, Russell.
Hello, Reverend John. Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
Very well. Yourself?
Welcome to St Anne's.
Thank you.
You're a very famous person, Chef of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty massive, isn't it?
It's not as big as an MBE.
Reverend John has served the parish for over 20 years and provides locals with a neutral setting to air concerns and build understanding.
One of the big things we do is we bring new police officers into the back of church here, and they meet with young people and they listen to their difficulties with the police. And police often say, I've learnt more in that 1 hour sitting in the back of your church with a pile of donuts than 3 months on the streets in Tottenham.
Working alongside Reverend John is a team of dedicated community leaders who share his passion for the local area, including Pastor Keith Jackson.
John's vision. He wants to take what's important here and takes it outside into the community. So we go out into the estates and we try to change people's life, try to give them some degree of hope.
Reverend John also plays an important role as chaplain to Haringey Police, something Chief Superintendent Victor Elisa can attest to.
There's nothing works better when we've got people like John, who's an established member of the community, lots of trust, you know, to be able to act as that link. And building that link is vital to be able to do the work that we're really here to do, which is to serve the people of Haringey.
And in 2014, the Reverend was recognised in the Queen's Birthday Honours list.
This is the MBE which Prince Charles gave me, with my 2 young children watching on like I was at a school assembly and they were the parents.
Yeah. What an honour.
It was an honour. I'm sure you'll get one next year.
I don't think so.
Hoping his Caribbean-inspired jerk lobster soup can go all the way in the competition, Russell has brought a sample for Reverend John and the local community workers to taste.
And just drink it like a posh cup of soup.
Right.
Wow, yeah.
Lovely.
As a Jamaican, you got 100%.
That is the biggest thumbs up I could have.
And the hope. Cheers.
Do you think I'm going to get through?
I think you'll get through, yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
In the kitchen, Russell is juggling the many elements of his dish.
Right there, Russell, you got enough stoves for everything for you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just a bit worried that it's a cooking competition. I seem to be the only one doing any cooking at the moment.
He mixes lobster tail, claw and coconut milk for dumplings.
All right. Oh, bravo.
Yeah. Cheers, Mark.
You often carry a hammer around.
Only to cooking competitions.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good chef. I've got Got my artichokes cooking in there with the coconut milk. And then here I've got my lobster soup.
Okay. May I?
Indeed. So that's just spiced with the jerk spices.
I mean, the danger is all this spice can destroy your lobster.
I think it all comes together really well.
Good, good, that's what we want.
Ronnie is putting a contemporary spin on Colchester rock oysters, which he hopes will show a more dynamic side to his cooking. He's serving them 3 ways: warm, chilled and frozen.
So remind me again, what's the granite?
Bloody Mary.
No need to swear.
Just a little bit of vodka in there so it doesn't freeze too hard.
Next, he preps the chilled gin and tonic jelly that will accompany the oyster.
So, Ronnie, how you doing?
Right, I made you a gin and tonic.
Bit brave, gin and tonic with oysters and, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Colchester rock oysters are very, very strong. They're very pungent. So all the alcohol's still in there, none of the alcohol's burnt off.
I mean, we could have a lot of pickled guests if you're lucky enough to get this course through.
I think a little bit, you know, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Ronnie then works on the cooked element of his dish, wrapping oysters in delicate angel hair pastry, which he'll deep fry at the last minute. Determined to cook for the judges on Friday, Mark is under pressure with his take on a British favourite, a fish supper in honour of the RNLI.
This course is really hard. If one of the elements isn't right, then you're going to notice it straight away.
As a twist, he's making a potato mousse and a parsley and pea sauce. Ronnie will be first to serve his fish dish, showcasing the oyster. Known as the food of the gods, he sees them as a fitting tribute to those honoured by the Queen. With 3 elements to plate up at different temperatures, timing is everything. He deep fries the oysters in angel hair pastry.
All very serious in here.
It's all crucial last minute. If everything isn't bang on, it's not going to happen, you know?
Onto a traditional oyster sharing platter, he lays 2 oyster shells and tops with spicy mayonnaise.
Do you want anything, mate?
Yeah, gin and tonic.
I thought you was looking after that.
He adds the chilled gin and tonic jellied oyster to the platter, then places crispy fried oyster onto the spicy mayonnaise. Finally, he places 2 raw oysters onto washed shells, tops with Bloody Mary granita,
Just kind of on the edge of melting.
Yeah.
then garnishes with chopped fresh celery leaf and adds to the platter.
You ready?
There we go.
So, the title?
Of Pearls and Gods, Colchester rock oysters.
The heavenly finish you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I think it's good.
How about continuing the chat in the tasting room?
Good plan.
So, oysters.
So we'll start with the frozen.
Okay.
Obviously a bit of vodka.
Happy with the granita?
Yeah, I think so. Enough vodka without it being too boozy.
So refreshing. Just what I need.
Yeah. Next, we'll move on to the crispy fried with the spicy mayonnaise.
A good crunch on the crispy fried oyster?
Yeah, I think it holds its crunch well, that angel hair pastry.
You probably want a bit more oyster flavour than you get with that one.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less pastry.
Yeah.
This is the gin and tonic oyster.
Ooh, a lot.
You still get the oyster flavour at the end, but the initial hit is
It's all
pretty
alcohol,
big, isn't
yeah.
it?
Out of 10, how do you mark this?
I think I'll be looking for about a 6 or 7.
Why only 6 or 7?
Maybe I'm getting nervous now that I've been a bit too edgy.
Mark is next to plate up his cod dish, a tribute to the ordinary people doing extraordinary voluntary work at the RNLI. To ensure his cod meets Richard's high standards, he's cooking it at the last minute.
Well, Ronnie, how did it go, mate?
All right, I think. What do you boys think? You get enough for the oyster flavour?
It could have been a bit more stronger.
Yeah.
To a serving plate, Mark centres homemade tomato sauce. and decants parsley and pea sauce into serving jugs.
Oh, you're joking.
Right.
Can we get that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. It's like nothing ever happened, Chef.
Take two. Yeah.
Say two.
Next, he adds potato mousse, crispy potato crumbs, and the roast cod, topped with a mussel garnish.
Okay, Mark, ready?
Yeah. So this is the call of duty. When you have to leave your dinner, you got to leave your dinner.
He came wet as well, look.
He looks like he's just come out of sea.
Or does he need a life raft with this dish? Let's taste it.
Ketchup, pea, cod. I know you went to the bother of making the tomato sauce. Worth the effort?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that ketchup, something else, huh? That's a great flavour.
The parsley and the pea, do you think it enhances the dish?
I do. I think it's an obvious match.
Wow, there's a lot of parsley.
You getting any pea there?
No, for me, the peas aren't really coming through, though.
The mousse, did it really come through there?
I think just a little bit more crispy potato.
Yeah.
Just to really bring out the potato flavour.
Two very different potato flavours and two different textures.
Yeah.
Do you think that fish is slightly overcooked?
30 seconds less in the pan and it would be even better.
I'm going to go 7.
I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to go 7 as well.
Out of 10, where do you feel it belongs?
I think probably a 7. I'd like it to be a bit higher for the lifeboat cruise, but then I'd be happy.
Before Russell can plate up his complex lobster dish, he pan-fries poached lobster in jerk butter.
Hey, Mark, you all right? How did it go?
Should have cooked the cod 30 seconds less, but overall I was happy, yeah.
To showcase each element, Russell is using 3 stacked serving dishes, each one containing different ingredients. To the base, he adds lobster and coconut dumplings, diced pineapple, and lobster soup. The middle dish features Jerusalem artichoke and coconut puree,
Oh, wow.
jerk lobster tail, charred pineapple, topped with coconut shavings.
Russell, on time?
30 seconds on the pass, chef.
The top layer is a canapé-style lobster knuckle, cooked in jerk butter and garnished with lobster emulsion and crispy artichoke, then placed on a bed of decorative spices.
Okay, Mark. So here we've got Commonwealth Carnival Queen.
Think you've done enough?
I've done a lot. I don't know if it's enough.
Come on, let's taste it.
Let's go, chef.
What have we here?
Here we've got lobster knuckle with some crispy artichokes, a little lobster emulsion.
Really, really tender, really juicy. The spiced butter is amazing.
Artichoke, bit of texture.
Yeah, seriously tasty.
The lobster tail and the pineapple both all go together.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that seasoning?
I'm happy with the spice. I'd like there to have been a bit more salt on it.
You get that spicing and you still get the flavour of that lobster, which is, you know, some achievement, really.
So the dumplings.
Wow.
That is good. Really sweet.
Agreed. You're not having the other half of that.
Out of 10.
Disappointed with the seasoning on the lobster, and I think I'm going to give myself a 7.
Wow.
He got an 8 for his last course. I enjoyed this one more. It's got to be an 8 or it's got to be higher.
I agree. I think we should definitely be a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Guys,
How was that?
that was hard.
Was it?
That was hard.
It certainly got Mark and I a little bit nervous, I think.
I was much happier with this dish. I think it tells a much better story than the starter, so I'd expect the 7 to turn into an 8.
You can't get in his brain, can you? So who knows?
So, chefs, how do you find the fish course?
Almost as tough as the starter.
I think it's getting harder.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm going to start with you, Ronnie, and your Of Pearls and Gods Colchester Rock Oyster. You cook from your heart, and your style is very edgy. I thought the Bloody Mary Granita slightly overpowered what was underneath. The gin and tonic jellied oyster, maybe a little bit too much gin. A lot of chefs mess up the cooking of oysters. I think you were pretty much bang on with yours. And I love the deep-fried angel hair pastry. With a few tweaks, I could see that oyster dish at a banquet.
Thank you.
Mark, your dish, Judy Coles. I thought the story of the dish was great. I liked the ketchup, it was packed full of flavour. Thought the pea and parsley puree was pretty much spot on. However, it didn't hit me like I was expecting it to. The potato foam got lost under that cod dish. And the cod was slightly overcooked. And a chef of your caliber, those nuances of cooking times should be absolutely spot on. Russell, and your Commonwealth Carnival Queen. I always knew lobster would take spice, but jerk, spice? That's a new one on me. I wasn't sure you'd be able to pull it off. It was stunning, original, elegant, and a bit magical. I loved it. So, to the scores. I'm going to start with you, Ronnie. I'm giving you a score of 8.
Thank you.
Mark. I'm giving you a score of 7. Russell. I'm giving you a score of 10. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Amazing.
I think you totally deserve it. Cooked out of your skin, frankly.
Thank you very much, Chef.
Chefs, as always, it's great to taste your food. Good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Oh, mate.
Oh, that's amazing. I
10.
can't believe that.
Here we go, 10.
I'm made up. I'm absolutely speechless. To get a 10 from Richard is just, it's mind-blowing.
With 2 courses complete, Russell is still in the lead. Mark and Ronnie are trailing 4 points behind.
I'm really disappointed with the mark of 7. I really believe in the dish, and I think it should have got a higher mark.
The main course tomorrow.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Russell's the front runner now, and you can't underestimate Mark. It's only going to take one slip up from one of us, I think, to lose it. It's that tight.